What is up, Star Seeds? I'm Sid, and today we are going to be talking about dashas and antardashas, a subdivision of dashas, a Vedic astrology, sidereal astrology concept, which is actually super simple to learn. There are a few different dasha systems, but for the sake of this video, we are going to be talking about dashas in general, and then specifically the VIMSHOTTARI Dasha system, which is one of the most popular dasha systems, and I plan to do other videos in the future on the other different types of dasha systems besides just VIMSHOTTARI. So I have my handy dandy little whiteboard here. We will try not to get a glare from the ring light, but as you can see here, I just listed the 27 nakshatras, and I listed here the planets that rule them. So there's 3 nakshatras for each planet: the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, which is the north node, and qhht, which is the south node. So you can read through and find your moon's nakshatra for the VIMSHOTTARI Dasha system. My moon is in Dhanishta, so I am ruled by Mars. So that is the dasha that I start out with at birth, because the VIMSHOTTARI Dasha system in specific we are talking about here. VIMSHOTTARI Dasha takes your moon's nakshatra at birth, and that is the period of life that you are entering into. So because Dhanishta is ruled by Mars, I start off in my Mars period, okay? If your moon was in Kritika when you were born, then you would start off in the Sun period. If your moon was in Rohini or Hasta or Shravana, you would start off with your moon phase of life, okay? But that is just a synchronicity that Rohini, Hasta, and Shravana are ruled by the moon. Like I said, my moon is in Dhanishta, so that's ruled by Mars. I start off with my Mars period, so on and so forth. So now I'm going to show you guys the order that these periods are in, because there is an order to it, okay? And if you look at this chart, this is not organized as well as if I lifted off Bharani, Venus, and went in order that way, because you would see the pattern. But I'm going to show you guys that now just so you can see it both ways. I like to show this way first so you can learn and understand and remember this way based on the planets, in case you're more familiar with Western astrology and that's easier to you or something. But I'm going to show you kind of the pattern of the dasha system and how the 27 nakshatras are in order that way as well. When you have it organized like this, it might be a little easier for you guys to read. As you can see, we start off with Ashwini for Ketu, Bharani for Venus, Kritika for the Sun, Rohini for Moon, Mrigashira Mars, Ardra Rahu, Purnavasu Jupiter, Pusha Saturn, Aslesha Mercury, Magha Ketu. We start off this cycle again here. It goes Ketu, Venus, Sun, Moon, Mars, Rahu, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, 3 times, 3 cycles to get through all of the 27 nakshatras. So I put a little squiggle there for the next 9, and then again for the final grouping of 9. So you have all 27 nakshatras here. So once you know the planet which rules the nakshatra that the moon was in when you were born, my moon was in Dhanishta, which is ruled by Mars, so I would know that I start off in this Mars period of my life when I'm a baby for the first approximately 7 years. The cool thing about dashas, though, is that you might not have been born right at the beginning of it. You might only have a year, 2 years, 3 years, however many years left of this Mars phase, depending on how far into the Dhanishta nakshatra you are. So I was born with a couple years left of my Mars period, then I go into Rahu, then Jupiter, then Saturn, then Mercury, then Ketu, and it just continues. This is a 120-year cycle, by the way, so you probably won't go into another one for a second time. You might not even get to all of them unless you live to be 120 years old, then you would. But wherever you fall, you start. So Mars is a 7-year period. You might not go through the whole Mars thing if that's what you were born into, but you will go through the whole Rahu thing, the 18-year cycle, because you're going to start off and then it's 18 years from there, and that's a pretty large cycle. So whatever period of life you are in during whatever period of time, that planet rules your life for that time. You have things happening. Mars is a malefic, Saturn is a malefic. Those are going to be periods where you want to be careful. But that is a whole, 7-year section. That's a whole 19-year section. We can break that up further into antardashas and see what planet is ruling a smaller percentage of that larger period of your life. So once you get into the antardashas, that is where shit gets real. So I highly recommend going to this dasha and antardasha calculator. You can even break it up even further from the antardashas into even smaller increments of time to get really down to the specifics of when certain things could happen. If you have a Jupiter-Venus phase or a Venus dasha, Jupiter antardasha, that's going to be a good time. If you have a Saturn Mars, that might not be as great. If you have a Jupiter sun, a Jupiter moon, a Saturn moon, ooh, like this is where it gets spicy, looking up the dasha and antardasha combined to see what date you enter that and then what date you enter a new one. This is what a dasha calculator looks like. This is their VIMSHOTTARI Dasha online calculator. You just enter in your birth info, and as you can see, there I am, 4 years, 5 months remaining of my Mars dasha period. Then we have the Rahu period from 2006 to 2024 for me. May 2024 is when I entered my Jupiter, so I'm in my Jupiter right now. Next, I will be in my Jupiter-Saturn, and then as you see, so on and so forth. I just think it is super interesting to see what I was going through during each of these periods of my life, because those planetary energies ruling me during those times really make sense. This is why I love pulling up dasha calculators now during my readings with clients, just to kind of do some research for my own curiosity to see if they were going through anything during these specific periods of their life. For instance, for me, my parents got divorced during my Rahu Saturn phase. During my Rahu Mercury phase, my North Node Mercury phase, that's when I started expressing myself in different ways. North Node, South Node phase, that's when I started having different feelings and different emotions, really. Once I got to my Rahu Venus phase, this is when I started dating lots of people in general. This is also when I got pregnant and had my son, the end of this North Node Venus phase, because I had been dating not so great people. And then, I ended up getting pregnant, having my son. Then we get to the Rahu Sun period, where right after I had my son, right after I turned 19, right after I moved back to my hometown, I am shining more, I'm doing me. Then we get into Rahu Moon, I'm getting more emotional, my hormones are trying to balance themselves back out. Rahu Mars, I'm taking action more. Then we get into 2024, Jupiter, still currently in this one. I feel like the past year and a half, I have been just trying to expand more. Jupiter is about expansion, and it looks like 2026 we're going to get into Jupiter-Saturn, so hopefully I'm going to be cracking down on my work more and just focusing on career. 2029, hopefully I'll be expressing myself more. And then by 2040, I'm going to be in my Saturn mahadasha. So I'm going to really be focusing on work and career and my responsibilities. Highly recommend you guys check this out. We'll talk more about dashas in other videos. Peace out.